All right. 2015 Polaris 570. Transmission went on it. Found a replacement off eBay. Looked around the interwebs. Could never find a video on how to take this transmission out. So I decided to jump on it and do it. Now I'm going to show you. It's pretty simple. Take off your clutches. Take off your clutch cover. Come back here. I took off the rear plastics and the rear rack, just makes it so much easier. Take off all your rear suspension, A-arms, everything. And right here, your A-arms have brackets that bolt in here. Take off those brackets. You just have, these are actually through bolts that go all the way through to that side. And you have these bolts. These are a 9/16 head bolt. This is a bolt that goes all the way through. So basically, take off clutches, take off your rear suspension. You got a bolt down here that goes all the way through. You got a bolt right here that goes all the way through. You got a bolt on each side, just like that. It's a 9/16 head. It's about a 1 inch long bolt. Pull that. Come up here. Gonna have 2 bolts on each side. That'll remove this whole assembly. I don't know what you call it, but it'll take this whole assembly out. After you get that, see, this is where that bolt comes through right here. It's got a nut. After you get that out, you've taken all these 2 bolts out, which that should come out when you take out your brackets for your suspension. So once you get that out, come up here, take this bracket off. Got 2 bolts. Got a bolt goes all the way through there. Take that out, and you'll need to pull your air cleaner. This box comes out. Now this shroud, this is for your exhaust. Notice I took the exhaust off. That shroud, that whole shroud, that has to come off. That won't let the transmission hit right here. This is your linkage for your transmission. Take that off. That goes on here. So I'm gonna pull that stuff all off, and then I'll show you what's next. Most of these nuts and bolts are 9/16 or ½ inch. If you don't have an impact drill, go to Harbor Freight and get one. Makes this work 10 times easier. I just got that out. We're going to take bolts on each side. Now, that's off. bolts up here. I like to keep the bolts and nuts in the bike where I can. Got that off. Air cleaner, of course you got to disconnect it from the throttle body. There's two T25s that hold it down, pull it up, get it out of the way. Goes back in so you don't lose them. Shroud has three bolts. Pull it off. Bolts back in so you don't lose them. And now on to the front. You're gonna have this cable comes through, gonna disconnect it right there. Also gonna disconnect it right there. This stuff out of the way, and you're gonna have another wire coming through. This bolt goes all the way through. You gotta take that bolt out. And there's one right below it. You gotta take that bolt out. That's the two main front bolts on the transmission. And it has a connector. Take that connector off. This top one actually has two nuts on it. A nut holds on the bolt, and then another nut holds on this little bracket. Pull that. Pull this bottom nut. I need to get my wrench in there. Anyways, I'm gonna pull those two bolts right now, and then this transmission will be ready to come out. Go. That's the last two bolts. Gotta keep this. Forgot to pull this main bottom bolt. It's ready to come out. The only thing that attaches this to your motor is this rod right here. This is a threaded or a splined shaft that goes into this. I don't know what the heck that thing's called, but it's I know it's called, but I can't think of the name right now. You're just gonna pull that free, and this thing should come out. There you go, it's that simple. Transmission. Look at the front of it. It's got this cup that goes right there. And then that's where this little shaft goes. So, just put it all back the way it came out. Let me know if you know an easier way.